What is the real story behind the creation of Eve? Today we are going to get into that. I don't know if you knew this, but hey, I've actually been looking up my ancestry lately. I don't know if you've ever got on your ancestry and followed back to your distant past to find out those famous relatives you have back there. But if you go back far enough, if you go back to your great and however many grades, I'm not going to be able to say enough. Your great-grandmother is the same great-grandmother that I have, Eve. We are distant relatives. I don't know if you knew that, but we are. And we're going to get into that, in finding out this mysterious woman that is our grandmother, Grandma Eve. We're going to talk about the real story of the creation of Eve. Stick around. Let's get into it. There really was an Adam and Eve. There really was those people. They really existed. Our great-great-great-grandparents, Adam and Eve. Adam was made first. And then this amazing, beautiful story of Eve. Eve was brought into existence. And I don't know if you all know much about this, but how she came into existence, that she was taken from the rib of Adam. This is the very beginning of human existence. Humanity was not billions and billions and billions of people. Humanity was one man, Adam, and that was his name. It was named Adam because that was the name for ground, the dust, because he was taken out of the dust. So he was humanity. He was everyone. He was our representative. He was the person that what he did, we did. When he did anything, we did anything. We did it because we were inside of him. I know it seems kind of different, but it's true nonetheless. So there was Adam out there. Adam, he was tilling the ground. He was naming the animals. He was deciding what each animal would be called. And he went through every one of them, all the beasts of the field, all the animals out there. He named the kangaroo a kangaroo. He named the tiger a tiger. He named the pig a pig. He named the dog a dog, whatever in that language, but it's come down to us. And what he said that's what it was, And in that time, there was one language. There was not many languages. There was one language. But then, it's kind of like this sad event almost, because he goes through all these animals and he feels almost still a little lonely. He's got this beautiful creation before him. He's got a paradise. Imagine paradise, the most perfect existence and atmosphere. He was living in it. And he has everything readily available. He did not even know that he did not have everything he needed. Adam has no idea what's coming. He has no clue what's about to happen. It looks like Adam has everything he could possibly need, but God says it is not good for man to be alone, and he creates this beautiful woman there's never even been such a thing as a woman. But God thinks it up. God creates it. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. We're just going to leave it right there. So God creates Eve. So this is the real story. This is the true account. So this is the real story of how Eve, our grandmother, came into existence. She was taken out of our great-great-great-grandpa's rib. Adam was put to sleep, but he made Adam go to sleep. And it says that he took the rib out of Adam's side and that he fashioned with that rib from Adam. So he creates Adam from the dust of the earth, but then he doesn't create Eve separate from Adam. He creates Eve he pulls her out of the man. He doesn't just separately create her again out of the dust of the earth and then bring her to Adam. He does it in a way that they are already connected very intimately. She was taken out of him. And then it comes full circle that then all the rest of humanity comes out of Eve. Everyone comes out of Eve. So that a woman was taken from man, and then man comes out of woman. And it comes full circle, This is the real story, the real event of what took place. And it's a beautiful story. And another thing, God taking Eve from Adam's side, it was a demonstration of the equality that they have. Man and woman, I know there is the struggle that of humanity has had, and then we looking back, we saw that the dominance of that it looked like men had over women for centuries and centuries and millennia, you know. But in reality, men and women are equal. They are completely equal and is valuable. There's not one. I think everybody knows that, you know. And I think even people back then, back in the day, knew that. But in a twisted way, people would exude power over others. You know, the weaker. And that's all. That's what God is all about. He's taken he flips everything. What we in our sinfulness do, and victimizing people and making people that less worth than they really are. God takes and he flips and turns everything on its head. He makes it so that the lowly come up. So Eve was created as a companion for Adam to be there with him, and it says that she was his helper. So Adam and Eve, they are of the same, you know, of value, but they do have different roles. That's why there is that difference. You know, God made it man and woman, you know, to be together. And there's beauty and complementary roles that they have with each other. There's things that a mother can provide to the children that a man doesn't have as great of ability to do. And there's things that a man can provide to children that women do not have as great. You know, that's not to say that there's not, and I gotta be careful here. Gotta be careful. Because I don't want to come out sounding like the stupid way. You know, I don't want to sound the stupid way. You know what I'm talking about. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. You know, women are amazing. I'll just leave it at that. I might just say women are amazing and leave it at that. But all of this has a deeper layer of mysterious meaning and what it conveys and what God's purpose in creating Adam and then Eve. Then it's described as like the role that the woman has and the role that the man has, that God functions almost as in our relationship with him. He is the husband. We are the bride. We are the bride, and that is the deeper, mysterious meaning that it talks about, and that's fully revealed in the New Testament with Jesus coming. He is the bridegroom, it says, and that the people of God are his bride. That they are. There is an element that he is the protector. He is the champion. He is the defender. He is our hero, and we are his beautiful bride. Later on in the New Testament, when it talks about that mysterious reality that's presented to us. Now, this is in the context of Paul talking to husband and wives in the book of Ephesians. And he pulls from this verse that we didn't read it back there in Genesis, but it was going to be that following verse that we didn't touch on. But Paul, writing to this church in Ephesus, he quotes this verse. And then he's going to talk about this amazing mystery, that this displays God's beautiful plan and relationship that he's going to have with his people, that he had planned out before the world began, and he brought it into existence. That representation was going to be Adam and Eve, that their relationship, and then all of husbands and wives throughout human history. This is Ephesians 5:31, and then I'm going to read through 33. I'm going to read for Ephesians 5:31 and 32, because we're not going to go down the whole husbands and wives type of thing, but we're specifically focusing on Eve, creation, and the purpose of God's creating Eve. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Whoa! Ho! Paul just snuck one in there, didn't he? He snuck it in there. And we were not expecting that. In that context, Paul's writing about husbands and wives, and he's talking about housekeeping things. And he just slips this one in there, and he says, he's talking about the husbands, love your wives. That is your job, husbands, love your wives. And then he says, this mystery is great. And in this context, the husband and the wife, and he says, but I'm speaking of Christ and his church. That is the mystery that began in the Garden of Eden with the creation of Adam and then Eve from Adam, that God made it this way, made in the image of God, That is the relationship that God said, Adam, you are to love your wife, and Eve, you are to respect your husband. Full stop. Okay, full stop. So this creation story has huge ramifications for us in our life. One, I want to bring this up in this divided culture that we live in, and in this divided world, we are, it's easy to be isolated and think America is everything, America everything, nothing else matters, America, which I'm for all, like, let's do everything we can for America. But the universal brotherhood and sisterhood of believers stretches across all ponds, across all oceans, that we all are of the same humanity. As it says, Paul says, he says, God, we are all his children. We are all his children. We are his offspring. He uses that example. There is a uniting factor that we have with everyone, and that we all came from our first parents, Adam and Eve. So realizing this fact that Eve, that beautiful story that happened way back in the day. So this relationship that God established between the man and the woman, and that is to represent his relationship to his church, to his people, whatever you want to call it. It's his people throughout human history. It is to show that God is going to have that closeness with us for all eternity. There's nothing going to be separating us. It says that Adam and Eve, God made it so that you are one flesh. You're no longer two, you are one. And this is the relationship that we will have with our God. We will no longer be two, we will be one. We will be one. It's not pantheism. It's not we will become God. It's not that. So let me make that clear. But it is that relationship that we will have with him, that we will be partakers and sharers in the divine nature, that we will be so united with our God. And it all started, and it all came about with the creation of Adam, and then the creation of Eve, that beautiful picture, him pulling her out of his side and then making them one flesh. So you are one with God. You are close with God. That Jesus is that bridge that unites us to God. He is that bridge that connects us to God, that restores that relationship. So realizing that fact, there is no separation between you and your Father in heaven, ever, and there never will be, ever. So I hope you all take something away from this. I hope that this blesses you in some form or fashion. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one.
So we hold on and enjoy the ride. After all the ups and downs, this is our time. Enjoy the ride.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Your support means the world to me, and it helps keep the content coming. Until next time, stay blessed and keep shining.